I'm going to try it for another week or so and we'll see. We might go back to early mornings because I'm a morning person and I'm best in the morning. But we are here to talk about firing your inner critic, finding your inner badass, and finally building your business. And if you're already in business for yourself, finally building the business to the scale and level that you really, really wanted. At the end of the day, the only thing standing between you and what you want is the story your inner critic keeps telling you about why you can't have the business that you want. So if you're watching this on YouTube, join us in the private Facebook group. You can find us at facebook.com/groups/fire your inner critic. All right, let's get to the topic today. We are talking about sales this week. There was a lot of discussion in the comments last week about the number one thing, the superpower, the thing that you want to develop in yourself that is lacking in the moment is sales. And so I knew I had to devote this week to sales because, listen, sales, marketing and sales are the lifeblood of your company. So if you hate sales, if you are afraid to do marketing, if you're afraid to talk about the value that you offer, the worth that you bring to the table, and the transformation that you deliver to your tribe, you're going to have problems in business. You don't even really need the inner critic's help because your own lack of worthiness and your disdain for sales and marketing is going to negatively impact what you do in your business. So let's talk about it. How do you get over the fear of selling? Have you ever had the thought where you meet somebody, you talk to somebody at the grocery store, somebody comes across your path and they say, hey, I heard you were good with this, or you have a family member or a friend who comes to you for advice, and you lay your gift out on the table, you help them, you astronomically change how they feel, and by the end of the conversation with you, they say, I'm so glad I talked to you. And there's this moment where you want to go, so send your friends to me, or you want to say, well, I could really do great work with you if we actually work together, or you want to say, I'm building this business. I would love it if you would share your transformation with people that you know and send them my way. And you have this moment where you go, yeah, I want to throw in a little bit of sales there. And then your inner critic starts chirping and says, no, you can't sell what you just did. That you were doing that out of the kindness of your heart. Why are you selling? Selling is bad. And then you don't share your gift or ask that person to share your gift with other people. And hence you've missed a sales opportunity. We've all had that. We've all had moments where we felt like it was the right time to share what we offer with others, but we retract from doing that because we feel insecure, we feel we're not ready, we feel we don't have enough credentials, we feel we don't have enough experience. I could go on, but you know what I'm saying. So I want to talk in this particular FB Live training about how do you get over the fear of sales. One thing I'm going to say about getting over the fear of sales, every new level of sales will bring a new level of fear. So when you're an aspiring entrepreneur and you make your first $500, there was a certain level of fear of selling that went from 0 to 500. When you get to 1,000, when you get to 10,000, every new level of revenue, every new level of sales brings a new level of fear about selling. So be okay with the fact that you're going to kind of get past or learn how to transform one level of fear of selling, but then there's going to be another one after that. I think it's good to know that up front so you don't get to a certain amount of revenue in your business and then all of a sudden you feel drastic fear because you're trying to go to a whole other level and you're like, I thought I dealt with that. No, fear is part of the success formula. Your goal is to transform every level of fear so you can become the next level of you. So how do you get over the fear of selling? And this is something that I'm working through myself right now in this moment. So just know what I'm telling you is what I'm working on a daily basis with myself. And you need the inner badass for that. Let me just start out by saying your inner critic is not going to help the process of you getting over the fear of selling. It really is tapping into your inner badass, your higher self, the part of you that naturally leads, the part of you that has faith in what you offer the world. You have to tap into the inner badass in order to be able to do this. So how do we get over the fear of selling? It's a couple things. So not that it's a formula, but to overcome the fear of selling. And remember I said, every new level of sales and revenue will bring a new level of fear of selling. So it's a constant evolution and process. number one, you have to recognize that this is a combination of things that you're doing to get over the fear of selling. It is part mindset, it is part strategy, and it is part practice. So the things that we're going to talk about super quick in this FB Live is, first thing is mindset. You have to change your mind about your fear. You have to be willing, rather than to sidestep your fear, get really busy in other areas of your business. You really say to yourself, okay, I'm not selling, I'm not marketing. What is the frickin' deal? Like, why am I not doing that? Because remember, the fears we don't face become our limits. So if the fears we don't face become our limits, then, and we have fear about selling, if we don't face those fears, if we don't invite them over for dinner, if we don't go, okay, why am I afraid to sell myself? Even that sounds kind of icky to me when I think, sell myself. Ugh, it sounds really icky. But here's the thing. You're always selling yourself. You're always, with the words that you say and the way that you react and the things that you do or don't do, you are always showing up in the world in a certain way. And that is either selling the people you come in contact with on you, or selling them on the fact that it is not you they want to work with or hang out with or be friends with or hire or do anything with. So you are always selling. That's the first thing. So first we got to get clear on the fear. What are the specific fears around sales? Am I afraid that I'll get rejected? Am I afraid that I'm going to fail? Am I afraid that I'm not enough? Am I afraid that people are going to think that I'm stuck up and I'm selfish and I only do things for myself? Am I afraid that I'm going to sell to people, but then I'm not going to be able to deliver on the promise that I gave them? You need to come face to face with your fears. Run into them. Don't run away from them. Invite them over for dinner. Face your fear is step number one. That's the mindset. The other piece of the mindset is understanding that selling is life, that we do it all the time with the way that we talk to people, the way that we treat them, the way that we show up or don't show up for people. We are constantly selling others on who we are, on what we stand for, and on what things mean to us. And that helps other people decide how much they want to be in partnership or communion or relationship with us. So we're always selling, period. That's the mindset piece. Now, the next piece is the strategy piece. And this is the hard part, right? Like, this is the part where you say, I need to make sales and marketing. I think to me, they're fraternal twins and they go hand in hand. But you need to say to yourself, I make sales and marketing a priority in my business. And here's the thing. If it's not scheduled on your calendar, it is not a priority in your business. And so whether you're thinking about starting a business or you actually have started a business, I'm going to ask you a very straightforward question. How many hours of your business workday are spent on sales and marketing? What do I mean by that? Are spent either sending emails out to your tribe, sending emails to specific people, making phone calls, writing a blog post with, at the very end of the blog post, a call to action to purchase something from you, writing a Medium post with a call to action to purchase something from you, doing an FB Live, and at the end, not wimping out and not offering a call to action, but clearly stating in the beginning, middle, and end of the FB Live what you're selling. How many hours a day do you spend doing that? Now, if you tell me any less than 2 hours, I'm going to tell you we need to go back to mindset and really look at what the fears are around selling. Because if sales is the lifeblood of your company, if sales is the way that you're going to reach out to the people who needed you years ago and offer them the transformation that they desperately need, and you're not spending at least 2 hours a day on it, then we got to both work on mindset and on strategy. So number one, mindset. What are my fears around sales? And how do I view sales? Because if you view it negatively, that's why you're not approaching it. And then number two, really minimum of 2 hours a day. You have to have strategy. What are your, here's a big thing. What are your sales strategies? How do you sell? What's your business model, your sales strategy, your funnel? Your sales funnel does not have to be complicated, but it's got to make sense to you. If I ask you, what's your sales process? You ought to be able to rattle it off. If you can't, then we're stuck in strategy. And we need to get to, how do I sell what I do? How do people find out about me? How do they learn about my work? How do they engage with my work? How do they stand for their worthiness and say, yes, I want to transform, and yes, I want to change? So mindset, plus strategy, plus practice. That's where the minimum of 2 hours a day comes in. For you to get good at sales, you've got to practice. That means if it's an elevator pitch, and I know that's so old school, if it's a 60-second elevator pitch, is it memorized? If it is a sales call script, do you have one? Have you written one? If you have a podcast, do you do your own commercials for your stuff on your podcast? One of the things that I'm working on right now is recording a promo on my She Runs the Show podcast. So every episode people listen to, there is something selling to them from my business. So do you take hold of in your YouTube videos, are you selling? Where are you practicing the skill? Where are you spending at least 2 hours a day? So overcoming the fear of selling is mindset, it is strategy, it is practice, and those equal success. So here's the biggest piece I want you to take away from this. Mindset is everything when it comes to getting over the fear of selling. And you're always going to have fear of selling every time, hey Jenny, every time you go to a new level of sales. The thing to remember about selling is all about showing up for the people who need you. It's about you being fully present, whole mind and present action to show up for the people who will not receive the same level of transformation if they are not working with you. And so there's a piece of this mindset where you got to get clear on what am I afraid of when it comes to selling? Why am I afraid to show up fully for someone who needed me years ago? Like, what is that about? Face the fears, deal with them. But then once you deal with them, you've got to say to yourself, okay, am I making the offering of the transformation so important because they need it? My tribe needs it so much that it is on my calendar for a minimum of 2 hours a day every single day. If you don't have a minimum of 2 hours a day doing sales and marketing activities, then A, you probably have fears that you need to deal with, and B, you are missing the entire point. Because at the end of the day, sales is service and marketing is education. We're all teachers. We're all teaching here, and we're all students. So if you are looking at this as, well, what if people reject me? None of that matters. At the end of the day, what matters is that the people who are meant for you get to have the experience with you so they can do what they need to do in their lives. And that doesn't happen if you don't show up. That doesn't happen if you don't take risks. That doesn't happen if you don't recognize that fear is in the car, but it doesn't get to be on the driver's seat. So what are you going to do to overcome the fear of selling? Really simple. We talked about it. You're going to work on your mindset. You're going to work on your strategy, and you're going to practice every single day. Do you know what your sales funnel is? Do you know what your business model is? Do you know how people are going to find you? Do you know what you're going to offer them? And are you speaking their language? Are you relating to their experiences so they understand that they're worth investing in themselves so you can help them get to where they need to go? That's how you overcome the fear of selling. Now, I'm not going to say that it's easy. Practice is, you're going to not like some of it. You're going to not want to get on every sales call. You're going to not feel powerful all of the time. That's when you have to get off of you and onto the people you serve. They need you. They needed you. What are you going to do to get into the type of presence that serves them best? It's not going to be by saying that I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be like a used car salesman. You know what? Even the used car salesman has a tribe who needs that car that they're selling, who desperately needs a change of quality of life, because that car, even at $9,000, is a game changer, because that means that car saves that family from walking to the grocery store and walking back. Everybody's got a calling. Everybody needs transformation, and everybody has their tribe. So at the end of the day, it's my